How could a team as potentially cool as the Sinister Six be a bunch of bumbling idiots? Sinister Six? More like Sinister Sucks, am I right? High fives, anybody? Hey Ding Dongs, Matt Superior Foe Elfring here, and before we dive into the world of Spider-Man's most fearsome foes, who we are about to see in the upcoming Spider-Man game for PS4, do us a favor and click like and subscribe to GameSpot Universe if you want more deep dives into comic books, movies, television, and more. Back in 1964, a group of Spider-Man's villains who had been beaten time and time again decided to join forces to take down the web crawler. In Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 1, Dr. Octopus put together a team featuring Mysterio, Vulture, Electro, Kraven, and Sandman. This was supposed to be a team that would end Spider-Man once and for all. Well, Doc Ock knew he couldn't control these villains, so he had them all fight Spider-Man one by one in a location that would play to each villain's strength. Obviously, Spider-Man defeated them all easily, making this plan the worst in team-up history. Believe it or not, the Sinister Six didn't return until the aptly named Return of the Sinister Six story 26 years later in 1990. This time around, Doc Ock gathers the same team but replaces Kraven with Hobgoblin, since Kraven killed himself a few years prior. Doc Ock has a new plan. Stay with me here. He wants the Sinister Six to hold the Earth hostage by hijacking a satellite which will spray poison into the atmosphere, killing everyone on the planet. If Earth wants to avoid this mass extinction event, all humans have to do is make the Sinister Six the supreme leaders. And just like last time, Spider-Man defeated them all easily, making this plan the worst in team-up history. So this version of the Sinister Sucks popped up in the story Revenge of the Sinister Six in Spider-Man number 18 back in 1992. This time around, Doc Ock's former team wants to seek revenge on him. So Electro, Mysterio, Vulture, and Hobgoblin trick Sandman into joining them after they bomb his foster family's house, letting him to believe Doc Ock did it. When this group confronts the former Sinister Six leader, he easily beats them all. Doc Ock helps the villains escape the police, and because of this, for some reason, the former Sinister Six members pledge to serve him. The newly reformed team enlists the help of a gigantic alien named Gog and steal a bunch of advanced technology. It takes the joint forces of Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Nova, the Hulk, and a dude with way too many guns named Solo to stop them all. At this point, how could these stories get any weirder? There were a few more incarnations of the team over the next couple of decades. However, nothing held up a mirror to the Sinister Six and their past stories more than the superior foes of Spider-Man. Again, stay with me. During this time, Doc Ock had taken over the body of Peter Parker and become the superior Spider-Man. And in the realm of comics, this actually had a long stay, lasting over a year. Also, it's really good. Sorry, haters. So what did the Sinister Six do at this time? Well, after a short-lived Superior Six story, which you can totally skip, a new team of villains joined forces to form the new Sinister Six in the comic The Superior Foes of Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, Steve Lieber, and Rachel Rosenberg. The comic followed a new team of supervillains made up of Boomerang, Shocker, Speed Demon, the Beetle, and Overdrive. Yeah, that's only 5 people, but they were so awesome they didn't need a 6th. So here's the thing about Superior Foes. This book isn't about these people teaming up to beat Spider-Man. It's a group of mildly dysfunctional villains trying to get by. It's a comedic book by nature, and these villains can be a bit bumbling at times. A good chunk of this book revolves around Shocker stealing the head of Silvermane, which is totally alive and sometimes rides around on top of an RC car. So why do people, including myself, get excited about the Sinister Six if a vast majority of their comic book stories are lackluster? Maybe it was their appearances in the 1990s Spider-Man animated series. Or maybe it was that Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six NES game. That was made by LJN, so I doubt it. The Sinister Six conceptually is such a cool idea, and at some point, maybe on the big screen, we could see this team form and actually give Spider-Man a run for his money, as Spider-Man's villains are all really cool. Who doesn't want to see a bunch of supervillains team up and beat up the good guy? However, until then, a Sinister Six freak like me will just have to wait until Turn Off the Dark returns to Broadway. Sadly, I don't like musicals, so I'm a bit torn. Luckily, you can check out the Sinister Six in the upcoming Spider-Man game for PS4 coming out on September 7th. This round of villains features Electro, Rhino, Scorpion, the Vulture, Mr. Negative, and a mysterious sixth member, which you won't learn about until you play the game. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to GameSpot Universe for more on comic books, TV, movies, wrestling, and more. Also, I might say Sinister sucks a few more times. High five, guys!